Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the screening program which is usually followed in industrial microbiology. You know that any fermentation industry, if it is started, it is very necessary that it should be run very successfully. And for this successful running of fermentation industry, there are many factors associated with it. In that, the most important factor which is there is whatever your fermentation process is there, it should be economically competitive. Now, this economical competitiveness is related with the fermentation product. There is a possibility that this fermentation product may be produced by some other industry by different method, or there is a possibility that the same product may be produced by chemical industry. Then when you are going to start a new fermentation process, you have to compete with pre-existing fermentation process or pre-existing chemical process in an economical point of view. If you want a success in that fermentation industry, fermentation process, you have to produce that product at comparatively very cheap price, so that when you sell in the market, you will get more profit and your fermentation process will be successful on an industrial scale. So in that, usually it is found that whatever the factors which are associated with this fermentation process, each and every factor is meticulously studied so that we will bring that fermentation process on economically competitive basis. In this, there is one factor which is known as your fermentation organism. This fermentation organism used for any fermentation process has to be derived from the nature. Generally, all these fermentation microorganisms which are used on an industrial scale are derived from natural sources like water, air and soil. Sometimes from food particles also these microorganisms are isolated, studied and used for any fermentation process. Then this microorganism finding from the nature is a very tough task, and for that purpose in industrial microbiology there always exists a program which we call it as screening program. And with this screening program, we find out the microorganisms from the nature where they are present in a mixed population, and from that mixed population we try to detect their potential for industrial fermentation process. Means that microorganism can be used for a fermentation process on industrial scale. Such program we generally refer it as a screening program. Now if you want to define this screening program, it is isolation, detection and separation of microorganism by using highly selective procedures where this microorganism can be used in the fermentation industry as a fermentation organism. Now, whenever we find out such fermentation microorganism, which is also known as producer strain, then there is some criteria used for finding such microorganism. So in screening program, we usually follow certain criteria on the basis of which a microorganism is to be detected and isolated. In that, the first criteria which is usually used is whatever microorganism which we are going to find out, it should have a very cheap nutritional requirements. Cheap in the sense the cost of that nutrient should be very cheap and it should be easily available so that the nutrient can be used during design of fermentation media. Second important criteria is the microorganism should have ability to produce a product in a high amount. We call it as high yielding microorganism. Then there is a third criteria is it should be genetically and biochemically stable organism. This is very important only because when we find out that microorganism and we propose to use that microorganism on an industrial scale, then that industry is going to run for many years. It may be 10 years, 20 years or 50 years. Then during that period, this microorganism should not alter any of its genetic or biochemical characteristics. Because if it alter its genetic or biochemical characteristics, there is a possibility that there is a change in the yield potential of that microorganism. Next important criteria which is used is it should be amendable to genetic manipulation. Now this is very important only because when we find out any microorganism by screening program, then this microorganism has got a certain potential to produce the product. But when the competitiveness in the fermentation industry increases, it is always desirable that whatever the microorganism which is producing a particular product by fermentation process should produce that product still in a higher amount. And if we want that microorganism to increase its yield potential, the only solution we can use is carry out some genetic manipulation, some changes in the genetic structure of that microorganism, because of which its yield potential will increase. So therefore that microorganism should be easily manipulated by genetic technique. Then there is another important criteria that it should not produce undesirable products. Now in this regard, it is usually found that when a microorganisms are carrying out a fermentation activity, this fermentation activity, when they carry out, they produce many substances. In that, the substance of our interest is produced in a larger quantity, whereas other products are produced in a lesser quantity. These lesser quantity products are always undesirable in any fermentation process, because these products consume nutrients from the fermentation medium, and these organisms, when they produce such undesirable products, it interferes with the product recovery process after fermentation process is over. So therefore it is always desirable that fermentation organism during fermentation process should not produce any undesirable products. Then there is another criteria that this microorganism, when we find out, that time it is found in laboratory. and for an industrial fermentation process, it is used in the fermenter. Now that time, the growth which we carry out of that fermentation organism is on large scale. So your organism which we are going to screen out, that time that microorganism should be easily cultivable on large scale, and it should grow very rapidly in the medium. Another important thing or another important criteria in this is it should be able to protect himself from contamination or from the bacteriophages. This is also very important factor, because during fermentation process, if microorganism produces some product which allows contamination to take place, then the contaminant organism will grow in the fermentation medium and it will spoil your fermentation process. Or there may be some product which will act as a receptor for bacteriophage. Then this bacteriophage will infect the fermentation organism and they will decrease the number of fermentation organisms, and thereby it will delay the fermentation process, or even it will stop the fermentation process. So therefore the organism should protect himself from contamination and bacteriophages. So with this criteria, we have to detect the microorganism which is easily available in the nature from natural sources. For example, soil, water, air, or some food products. Now, whatever the approach we use to find out such microorganism from the nature by using highly selective procedures will be called as a screening program. Now, when this screening program is carried out, it is not one-step process. It is carried out in many different steps, and therefore this screening program is basically divided into two stages. One is called as primary screening and second one is known as secondary screening. Now, whenever this screening program, which is carried out in two steps as a primary screening and secondary screening, it is very tedious process. And another important thing is whatever the screening program which we carry out in the laboratories or in the research institutes, it is most of the times very time consuming, expensive, and it is quite possible that whatever the screening program you are running can be a gamble also. Now, why I am saying this is so? Because whatever the screening programs which are done in the laboratories or research institutes, they have to spend a lot of money, and there is an always possibility that even after spending lot of time and lot of money, their endeavor may be fruitless. I can cite some examples which are carried out by some pharmaceutical industry on this screening program. There is one well-known company, pharmaceutical company called as Pfizer Limited. This Pfizer Limited has spent around 14,30,000 pounds on a screening program for finding a broad spectrum antibiotic producing organism, and in that program they could find out only one organism who is able to produce terramycin antibiotic. So after such a huge amount spending, you get only one organism. There is a second example where the Merck, Sharp and Dohme, these companies, when they carried out a screening program, they have tested around 10,000 microorganisms. And after screening of 10,000 microorganisms, they found out there is only one microorganism useful. There is a third example where the Eli Lilly company, they have worked on almost 4 lakh microorganisms for a period of 10 years. And after that 10 years with 4 lakh microorganisms, they successfully discovered 3 antibiotics. So because of that, as I have said, that this is a very, very expensive, time consuming and a sort of gambling program. An interesting finding is that all over the world these screening programs are run, but most of the successful screening program for antibiotic producing organisms has been done by Japanese people. Now we are going to discuss about this primary screening. Now in this primary screening, we only do a simple test in which we try to detect and isolate a microorganism which is exhibiting a desired property. So for this purpose, detecting and isolating microorganism with a desired property, whatever the screening program is run, is called as primary screening. Now if you want to understand this primary screening, I will have to explain this primary screening with the help of certain examples. Now whatever the screening programs are run, as I have told you, you will have to use natural resources for microorganisms. Most of the times, soil is said to be the best source of microorganisms, and majority of the screening programs are run by using soil as an sample. I am going to explain you total 5 examples. One, finding a microorganism having ability to produce acid or amine. Then the antibiotic producing organism. Then there is a third, enzyme or amino acid producing organism. Then the microorganisms which are utilizing a specific nutrient for their growth or for their biosynthetic activity. And then there is a fifth example of enrichment culture technique. Now I am going to explain one by one these examples of primary screening. In this, the first example of acid and amine producing microorganism. In this, mostly whatever these acid and amine producing organisms are there, they are grown on carbon substrates. And if you want to detect their ability to produce an acid and amine, then in that case we will have to use some pH indicating dye in the nutrient medium, where the medium should be poorly buffered. And if such medium is used and on that soil sample or soil dilution is spread and you allow that microorganisms to grow, the colonies which will develop, that colonies will have change in color around the growth of organism, because whatever the pH indicating dyes are there, due to change in pH they will change their color, and that will tell you whether it is acid producing or not. If you want the organism who is more acid producing, then in that case what modification you will have to do is you will have to prepare a medium which is buffered, because if buffered medium is there with small amount of acid, there will not be change in color of the pH indicating dye. And if such buffered nutrient medium is used and still there is change in color of the pH indicator, then that indicates the organism have a capacity to produce considerable amount of acid and amine. Even there is an alternative method where in the nutrient medium there is an incorporation of calcium carbonate. When we incorporate calcium carbonate, it is a basic compound, and when an organism grow on a medium containing calcium carbonate, then the organism who is producing acid around its colony on the plate, we will see that there is a zone of clearance or clear zone. So if this clear zone is observed in a medium containing calcium carbonate, the organism is said to be acid producing. Then there is a second example of antibiotic producing organism. So for antibiotic producing organism, most widely used technique is called as crowded plate technique. Now in this crowded plate technique, what we do is we use a medium on which most of the soil microorganisms can easily grow, and we dilute the soil sample in a such a way that when it is sprayed on a nutrient agar medium, it will produce around 300 to 400 colonies on the surface of agar medium. Now when these 300 to 400 colonies are grown on a nutrient agar plate, you will find that there are certain colonies around which there is no growth of any other organism. If such organism is detected, then you can say that it can be an antibiotic producing organism. But the antibiotic producing organism which you have detected will not tell you that against which type of pathogen it is effective. Then for that purpose you will have to carry out another step by means of which you can see that whatever antibiotic which is produced by that organism is effective against what kind of pathogens. And for that purpose there is a special testing called as microbial inhibition spectrum by using different types of pathogenic microorganism, and in that against whom it is sensitive and against whom it is resistance is determined. Now this crowded plate technique which we use is not always reliable for detection of antibiotic producing organism, because there is a possibility that this zone of inhibition around the colony produced by the microorganism may be because of rapid utilization of certain nutrient present in the medium, and because of that there may be a zone of inhibition. So for that purpose we need a further testing in this crowded plating technique. Then there is a third example of the organisms who is capable of using a particular enzyme. There is a third example where we are going to find out it is going to produce a specific enzyme or amino acids. Now for that purpose what we do is we design a medium which is free of that particular amino acid, and on that medium we allow the microorganisms to grow, and when these microorganisms grow, that means these microorganisms have synthesized on their own that particular amino acid. Now we want to test that really a particular amino acid has been produced or not. Then in that case what we will have to do is we will have to use a test organism who is capable of using that particular amino acid, and in that case a particular test organism is used and it is allowed to grow on the same medium. And if around that particular colony, if you see the growth of that particular test organism indicates the organism has produced amino acid. Then there is an example of the nutrient, specific nutrient required for growth. In that case, usually what we do is there is a use of a particular nutrient source, for example carbon. The best example which we always give is about cellulose. Now in this cellulose, what we do is we prepare a medium containing only cellulose as a carbon source, and on that if any microorganism is grown, then that indicates the organism is utilizing that particular specific carbon source. And then there is a last example where it is called as enrichment culture technique. Now this enrichment culture technique is designed by a soil microbiologist called as Bungenrigg, where this he used for isolating an organism from natural population, where the natural population is very heterogeneous. And for that purpose, what he used is again the cellulose as a carbon source. What he did is, in this he tried to design a medium in which only cellulose as a carbon source, and on that he allowed prolonged incubation, and when he found that there are certain cellulose utilizing microorganisms colonies, that is the indicative that enrichment culture technique has taken place. Thank you.